That's 800-750-0488. Go Medicare. We get you more benefits.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention! If you were born before 1958, listen closely. Industrial and trade workers were exposed to deadly levels of asbestos decades ago. This means people who started working in these jobs in the 1970s or before are being diagnosed today with mesothelioma and other asbestos-related diseases. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, find out today if you're eligible for compensation. Call Sokolov Law now at 1-800-684-0660.
We are making available.
Hi, I'm Jane King, and thank you for watching. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies. We bring you the innovators behind the companies making the headlines in that space. Some are sponsored, some are invited, all are curated and focused on telling you, the viewers, their story. Here we go. Tonix Pharmaceuticals just finished a trial of its COVID vaccine on animals. And with me is the CEO, Seth Lutterman, to explain the findings. So, Seth, I took a quick look at these. It looks pretty good. Can you go into detail about what your trial results were with this COVID vaccine?
Thanks, Jane. We're very excited. We tested our vaccine on non-human primates in an experiment where we vaccinated the animals with our vaccine versus two controls, either a sham vaccine or a vaccine that was closely related but wasn't designed to protect against COVID. And in the fourth quarter of last year, we announced very encouraging results about the immune response that these non-human primates mounted. But today, we announced that the vaccinated animals were protected against COVID-2. COVID-2 is the virus that causes COVID-19. So the top line of the results that was issued today was 6 days later, which is a relevant time in this animal model. The vaccinated animals had undetectable levels. So, and in contrast, the animals that were not vaccinated or were vaccinated with a control vaccine had much more.
Very interesting. Well, now we heard kind of as we've been studying all this, 94% effective. Do you have a number on that yet, or are you at that point?
That's a great question. Unfortunately, we can't get that kind of information from this model because these animals don't get as sick from COVID as humans do. But the model that we use is very similar to the models that were used by the EUA vaccines, for example, and all the other vaccines. And we won't have that kind of number until we get into humans, because we have to just look at the amount of virus we can detect instead of looking at how healthy or sick the animals get.
Mm-hmm. Now, when we talked last time, you had explained a little bit about your goals for this vaccine, that it might be something that it could be used every year. I mean, kind of explain how this would fit into the whole COVID vaccine ecosystem.
It's a great question. The three EUA vaccines, EUA stands for Emergency Use Authorization, and I think everyone now knows that they would be the Pfizer vaccine, the Moderna vaccine, and the J&J vaccine. They're all very important, and I first want to say that it was great effort to get them approved. I personally am one dose into the Pfizer vaccine. I urge everyone to get the vaccine as quickly as they are eligible to get it in their state or community. But despite the remarkable achievements of Operation Warp Speed and the potential of these vaccines, they are first generation vaccines. And there are important questions left about these vaccines we just don't know. The most important is durability. How long will someone be protected? So we don't know. Will they only be protected for 6 months, for 9 months? I mean, for me, that's a very good trade-off because I want to be protected for 6 months. But on the other hand, there are older, more established techniques of vaccination that can provide years or decades of protection. So while the EUA vaccines, the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines are called mRNA vaccines, those are completely novel technology. And the J&J vaccine called Ad26 is almost as new, although it was half of a vaccine that was used in Africa for Ebola, but essentially, at least with an American experience, new. So we just don't know the durability. One of the great advantages of those vaccines is how quickly they could be developed. And thank goodness, because hopefully they're making an impact already. Because over 100 million people, I believe, in the United States have gotten their first dose. But it's no time to be complacent. We can't get a year from now and realize that the protection from these is only 6 months. We need other technologies. Also, after the pandemic, we expect COVID to be endemic, meaning that humans are going to coexist with COVID for the rest of the time that humans are on Earth. And that means that, like measles, mumps, and rubella, we probably will have to adopt a strategy of vaccinating children against COVID. So we are thinking in terms of that kind of vaccine, ultimately a childhood immunization that could be broadly deployed and tip the balance of this, sharing the earth with COVID, tip it in our favor in the same way that the MMR vaccine, the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, has tipped that balance in our favor. And our technology, in contrast to Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J, which are new technologies, ours is the oldest technology. Literally, the first vaccine was a vaccine to protect against smallpox, developed by Edward Jenner in 1796. We believe that our horsepox vector is closely related to the virus that Edward Jenner used. That virus provides years, decades of protection, and it was the most successful vaccine ever because it eradicated smallpox, the only viral disease ever eradicated. So we're taking the best part of the old virus vaccine technology and applying it to this new threat. So I think that that's why we're very different.
Very interesting. So the vaccine is called TNX 1800, correct? So what's next?
What's next is we hope to study humans this year. And the gating item for that is manufacturing TNX 1800 in a quality suitable for human investigation. So that's our big priority. And now we really feel that's the one hurdle left for us to jump through, particularly now that we have what we think is compelling data in the non-human primate animal model. So we are guiding that in the second half, we expect to do human phase 1 trials. So we're rushing towards that goal.
And what are your objectives for 2021?
Well, the most important objective, as we've discussed, is to bring home the Raleigh study, the confirmatory phase 3 study in fibromyalgia, which with a positive study, a drug ready for NDA, would be transformative to our company. The other big thing we're hoping for, again, something we talked about, is to get our COVID-19 vaccine, TNX 1800, into a phase 1 human study.
Okay, well, thank you. Very interesting update, Seth, and best of luck. And please come back and update us as these trials and studies go on throughout the year.
Thank you very much for your interest.
Thank you. Aurus is a fintech company that has a token-based solution to the traditional gold market. And with me to explain more about that, Managing Director Guido von Stein, and also Konstantin Anisimov, who is with CEX.io, which is a crypto exchange. So let's start, Guido, with just give us a background. I know we talked before, but in case somebody missed the interview, what is Aurus? What is the company working on at the moment?
Yeah, thanks, James, for having us again in the show. Aurus, yeah, we are a UK-based software company that offers a tokenization as a service to the traditional precious metals market, where we started 2.5 years ago with a gold-backed token that is minted by esteemed distributors, gold brokers worldwide, which is vaulted again in vaults worldwide by Brinks and Loomis. And as the ecosystem has been expanding, we are now launching also a silver and a platinum-backed token, which are all generating revenues, which are then accumulated in our fourth token, the Aurus DeFi token, which is a revenue-generating token, which pays out dividends.
Okay, so and Konstantin, explain CEX.io. What is that, and how do you differentiate yourself in this market?
Yes, thank you. So we're one of the longest running cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, actually. We're 7 years old, which may sound like a very short period of time, but for cryptocurrencies, this is light years. It's a very long time. We have over 4 million customers worldwide. We are a regulated exchange. So even in the time when crypto was completely unregulated, we started collecting KYC and performing AML practices on our transactions, in light of us seeing that the industry will become more and more regulated over time. And I guess how we differentiate is we're one of the top cryptocurrency exchanges at the moment by Crypto Compare rating. And one of our main differentiating factor is that we're an ecosystem. So we don't just offer cryptocurrency exchange services, but we offer a range of different products like staking, savings, and many others that are due to be launched this year. So we're more of an ecosystem, I would say.
Okay. All right, makes sense. And tell me about your partnership with Aurus and what made that project stand out to you.
So Aurus came to us. The relationship actually started with our US office with Alex Kravitz, our CEO there, and Guido and Alex must have hit it off, I guess. I was handed over the project a little bit later, but it's as a coincidence, I was actually working with many of the people that Guido's working right now a couple of years ago. So immediately I could see that this project is very, very serious, and I was immediately impressed with the backing of major physical gold players that Aurus has, and that was one of the main deciding factors, I would say.
Now, Aurus, I mean, with regards to, Guido, with regards to Aurus DeFi, explain to the audience what that is. How does that work exactly?
Well, the Aurus DeFi decentralized finance token was actually launched to make our ecosystem sustainable by actually letting people participate in the revenue streams of the tradability and the fees generated by the gold and silver and platinum trading. So the unique part about this is that investors, institutional and retail, can now buy into a passive income stream on the tradability of gold, silver and platinum. And if you look at the possibilities beyond that, if you look if you are a gold investor and you want to have hedging yourself against volatility, for instance, which means there's more trading in the gold market, you can actually hold the Aurus DeFi token because the increased volatility and trading will earn you more revenue, which is paid out in gold again. So every token that we have, the gold, silver and platinum one, and you hold the Aurus DeFi, will pay back the dividends in its native commodity. So holding the Aurus DeFi token will also get you gold, silver, and platinum on a passive basis.
Okay, so those are the main benefits, it sounds like, from owning it. Anything else?
It's quite an innovation if you look at it, because it's also, we are not a centralized solution. We are a software company. We don't trade the gold ourselves or provide it. It's provided by, like Constantine said, our industry partners, big partners globally. They provide gold, they provide the silver and platinum. Having this separate token makes our company actually independent from the ecosystem itself. And because of this 4 tokens system working together, the whole ecosystem can out-survive even the company in this way. So it's very unique, and it's quite an innovation from, if you look at the precious metals market.
Okay. And then, Constantine, let's wrap up with you. What kind of innovation is CEX working on? It seems like there's so much innovation going on in this industry. What kind of things are you working on with the exchange?
We're working on many things in parallel. I'd say I'd like to talk about DeFi in specifics and what we're doing to make it easier for customers to invest in DeFi liquidity pools. So first of all, DeFi liquidity pools offer very, very high yields, and this is why Aurus is also participating in this community, because there's an ability for small investors to make reasonably safe investments and sound investments and generate reasonably, or in some cases, very high returns, while at the same time the process is tremendously simplified. In addition to that, what we're doing is when you invest in the traditional DeFi community, you still need to be a little bit of a geek, let's put it that way. And there's an element of coding that you need to do, etc. And we are taking it a step further, and we're creating a layer which essentially takes care of all those troubles and makes it easy for retail investors to buy into liquidity pools, which Aurus would be an example of one of those. I'd say this is the innovation I'd like to highlight in this interview.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. And I think that's a key, is getting the retail investors involved and comfortable, and that they understand exactly what's going on, because it is very different. So thank you so much, Constantine and Guido, for joining us. Look forward to an update as we go on through the year.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Pawtocol is doing some very interesting things with cutting-edge technology, but also helping pets. And with me is the CEO, Karim Kazani, to explain how you're using NFTs, non-fungible tokens, so one of the hottest things right now, to help pets. So go into that a little bit, Karim, and then we'll talk in more detail.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having me again, Jane. And just got back from Costa Rica. We had made some amazing historic moments by, you could say, literally creating NFTs for pets. And we were successfully able to onboard the first cat on the blockchain using these NFT tags, and the first dog on the blockchain using these NFT tags. So what we're trying to do is turn virtual adoption of pets using NFT technology a possibility where you can have fun, you can trade their tradable cards just like art. As you know, NFT is a digital art, so we turn the pet adoption pictures and everything into a digital art. That digital art turns into a tradable type of baseball card that you can sell, and whatever money that you raise out of it can go directly to the shelter where you get your pet from.
Okay, so we have NFTs for a cat and a dog, the historic thing, first time ever. And then how, like, who's buying these? How does the pet benefit? How does explain all that?
Absolutely. So virtual adoption is our main goal. Virtual adoption, most of the people, for instance, in New York City, you have a lot of people cannot adopt pets and they love pets and they're in a building, live in certain buildings that they don't accept pets. Those people that love animals and love pets can actually virtually adopt a pet out of a shelter. And with this NFT tag, they'll be able to send money directly to the pet and take care of the pet's well-being and help the pet find a home. And if not, the pet could still be well taken care of in the shelter because now the pet has been financed. With that being said, that is an NFT creation of the pet. So virtually adopting a pet using NFT technology, we are more than confident that we'll solve that massive problem of stray dogs in Latin American countries, shelters that are over capacity. People will be able to virtually adopt pets, and that will turn, for instance, these countries into a no-kill zone, and that's our primary goal.
Very interesting. And so let's say I adopt a cat or a dog, then do I get to see it on a regular basis? Are there pictures sent? Like, how does all that work?
Absolutely. You become the virtual parent of the pet. So with this dog tag or this pet tag, you'll be able to ask whoever will be the real parent, whether it's the shelter parents or if the pet finds a home. You'll be able to once in a while get pictures of your virtual puppy, and you'll get to stay in contact with the virtual pet. But the most important thing is how to take NFT, and because it's a huge buzz, everybody else is having fun with it, and it's making so many people rich. How can we turn this technology for the better? How can we make it fun? And how can we actually save pets while having fun trading NFTs? So think of your pet becomes a tradable baseball card, and your pet would now be able to be traded, and whoever buys that virtual traded card would be able to donate to the shelter where that pet came from. And that would help all of these shelters save more lives.
And Kareem, since I'm a parent, I'm thinking this would be great for kids.
Absolutely.
You know, like they would have if they want a pet, maybe the parents aren't quite sure the child is ready yet. This would be a great way to kind of get them introduced. They could learn about NFTs in the process. I think that's a really great idea. All right, so where did you do this?
So just before we lose focus, before we go elsewhere, I just wanted to the world to know that Potato, the first cat that was adopted on the blockchain using NFT tags, she was a prison cat. That poor thing, she was abused, and that poor thing, she was actually used to smuggle drugs. So we rescued her, and she basically lost trust in humans for 6 months until we finally got her to start a trust, and now she's ready to find a home. She could be virtually adopted by many parents. This is just a symbolic way to show love to these poor animals. Or you could say it's an art piece where you capture the struggle of these poor pets trying to find a home. This is an art on its own. If you digitize that and put it into an NFT, now you have a digital format of that pet's life stored on the blockchain as an NFT art piece that you could buy and appreciate.
Okay.
The dog is 14 years old. She's paralyzed from the waist down. She's been in the shelter for 10 years, living well, didn't find a home yet. And I think whoever needs a break in life, that poor dog might need a break in life right now. So we're hoping that these NFTs will be able to create some noise and people get to understand that NFTs could be fun and also can create a lot of, amazing things by helping animals in need.
Interesting. Okay, well, thank you. Very interesting application of NFTs. So it's great to see you again, Kareem.
Thank you so much.
Paypolitan uses blockchain technology to combine traditional banking with DeFi banking, decentralized banking. So with me to explain more about what Paypolitan is doing and where they are at this point in the year is the CEO, Nils Thorant-Ortiz. So good to have you back with us.
Thank you for inviting me again, Jane.
Okay, so you just finished an IEO last week on BitForex. So explain the IEO for those that may not be familiar with that term, and then how did it go?
Yeah, an IEO is basically like an IPO, but on a crypto exchange. So it's going public, but instead of issuing shares, you issue a token, which is then bought during the IEO from token holders. And yeah, Bitforex is a major exchange based in Hong Kong. We did this in order to add a new trading pair. So so far we only had our EPAN token and Ether, and now we added USDT. As USDT Tether is a stable coin that is giving more stability to the price of the token and is taking off a bit of volatility, which you normally have in those highly volatile coins like Bitcoin or Ether.
Mm-hmm. Now, can you do an IEO on another exchange?
Yeah, definitely. So we're still aiming on doing an IO or a listing on a tier 1 exchange, which of course has to be at a certain time. So we have to have a certain growth of the year. And I think in Q3 at latest, we would be ready for a tier 1 exchange.
Okay. And then where do you stand with the Paypolitan app? Where's all that?
Well, actually, it's a great day. We just started today our beta testing.
Awesome. Okay.
So it was, we have 150 beta testers from the community. And so far, what I could see, the feedback, they're very happy. Paypolitan, just to explain in a nutshell, is a payment app. You can pay with cash from your bank account or with crypto. And we are not storing any money. We simply connect to your existing bank accounts or crypto wallets. So that is like the core architecture of Paypolitan, which makes it very safe because your funds, either crypto or cash, stay where they are. You simply aggregate them, and you can use Paypolitan to send them either from A to B or to make the payment with the Paypolitan app.
So tell me about the beta test, like how many people, how long will that last? What's the process?
So we invited 150 meter testers from our community, and internally our 34 employees are also on board. So everyone is obliged to become a meter tester. Plus one of my colleagues who had an iPhone 6, he has to update his phone because it's not, you cannot update it. So we just noticed this morning. So he has to buy now, or we're gonna buy, I think, for our colleague a new iPhone. And he can then also be the meter tester. So there is only one missing so far.
Well, I'm not going to make fun of him because I just got a 12 after having a 7 for years and years and years and years. So I definitely got my money's worth out of that phone. Now, there's a lot of terms, Nils, that when people are trying to learn about crypto, is, you know, we see Bitcoin and Ethereum do so well. Yield farming, staking. Can you explain what those two terms mean?
Yes. So actually our app is now starting with DeFi features. DeFi stands for decentralized finance, and staking and yield farming. This is the heart of DeFi.
Okay. It's been very interesting already, and it's only March. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch this year. Nils, thank you so much for coming back. Always interesting to pick your brain about what's going on, and come back when you have the results of the beta test and we can update the interview.
I will for sure. Thank you, Jane. Have a good one. Cheers. Bye-bye.
It's our America. We conquered it. We built it. Great values like